Romelu Lukaku offered Chelsea lifeline. Inter loanee will be asked whether he wants to fight for Blues' future under Mauricio Pochettino. Romelu Lukaku will be asked if he wishes to try and revive his Chelsea career under incoming manager Mauricio Pochettino. The Blues are close to confirming former Spurs boss Mauricio Pochettino as their permanent successor to Graham Potter, although Frank Lampard is set to remain in interim charge at Stamford Bridge until the end of the season. According to the Telegraph, attention is now turning to which Chelsea players could thrive under the Argentine, and it's said that Lukaku will be offered the opportunity to reignite his stagnating career. Lukaku was signed for a whopping £97.5 million, $120.9 million, from Inter in 2021, but endured a nightmare return to the club he previously spent time at between 2011 and 2014. He managed just 8 goals in 26 Premier League games, fell out with Thomas Tuchel and irritated supporters with an infamous interview in which he admitted that he regretted leaving Italy. Lukaku returned to Inter on loan last summer, but the Nerazzurri have no interest in making the switch permanent as he has scored just 5 times in Serie A this season. However, Pochettino may favor reintegrating him into the squad once he takes over at Chelsea. Girona 4-2 Real Madrid, Castellanos nets 4 to put Barcelona a step closer to title. Tati Castellanos became the first player this century to score 4 past Real Madrid in La Liga as Girona beat Los Blancos 4-2 at Montilivi on Tuesday to put Barcelona a step closer to the title. Madrid went into the midweek round of fixtures 11 points adrift of their bitter rivals with 8 games left, and this deserved defeat could see the gulf widen even further. Castellanos netted twice inside 24 minutes to put Girona in charge, and although Vinicius Jr. pulled one back just after the half-hour mark, Madrid largely looked blunt without the injured Karim Benzema. Girona picked up where they left off at the start of the second half, Castellanos quickly completing his treble before adding a fourth that rendered Lucas Vázquez's late goal irrelevant. Mikel Arteta and Pep Guardiola agree on Man City vs Arsenal Premier League title verdict call. Arsenal are 5 points ahead of Manchester City in the race for the Premier League title heading into the crucial showdown at the Etihad Stadium on Wednesday night. Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta and Manchester City head coach Pep Guardiola have both agreed that Wednesday night's huge fixture will not decide who wins the Premier League title this season. The Gunners hold a 5-point lead over the reigning champions and could take a huge step towards their first title since 2004 with a win at the Etihad Stadium. City are in scintillating form, having won 11 of their last 12 fixtures in all competitions, and are chasing down a 5th Premier League title in 6 years. Guardiola's side will have 2 games in hand on Arsenal heading into the showdown on Wednesday evening after progressing to the FA Cup final and Champions League semi-finals. Arteta admitted Granit Xhaka is a doubt for the trip to face City tomorrow night, whilst William Saliba is set to miss the crucial fixture as he continues to recover from injury. Guardiola welcomed Phil Foden back to action at the weekend, adding to City's fierce attacking threat ahead of their game against the Gunners. Declan Rice is proving why Arsenal boss Mikel Arteta should sign Moises Caicedo. Arsenal target Declan Rice has sent a message to Mikel Arteta with his recent performances for West Ham. Declan Rice is set to be a top summer transfer target for Arsenal. But the West Ham star's recent form in front of goal shows that Mikel Arteta should also pursue a deal for Brighton ace Moises Caicedo. Arsenal's interest in Rice emerged at the turn of the year. After years of being linked with a move back to Chelsea, the club that released him at the age of 14, the Gunners have stepped in. Arteta is confident of securing a deal for the England star, who has also attracted interest from Manchester United and Manchester City in recent windows. Arsenal will boast Champions League football next season for the first time in 6 years. That will undoubtedly help their cause to land Rice. But it is not only the one midfielder they should try to sign this summer. For both West Ham and England, Rice has more often than not been subjected to playing as a deeper-lying number 6. If he were to move to Arsenal, many would feel he would be a like-for-like replacement for Thomas Partey. Carlo Ancelotti gives his take on Lionel Messi's potential return to Barcelona. Real Madrid manager Carlo Ancelotti has spoken on the potential return of the GOAT to FC Barcelona. The rumor mill is abuzz with a potential return for Lionel Messi after he finishes his contract with Paris Saint-Germain. Ancelotti was diplomatic, first stating that Messi can do whatever he wants in Barcelona too. It's not an issue for me." He continued on, "I like him as a player. For Spanish football it could be nice to have him. But it's a matter for Messi and Barcelona." In the past, Ancelotti has had kind words for Messi. In 2013, the then PSG coach said of Messi, who played for Barcelona at the time, "He is the best player in the world, even if he is not fully fit." Recently, the Real Madrid manager gave another opinion on the Argentine star. When asked if his FIFA World Cup victory confirmed him as the best ever, Ancelotti said, "It's difficult to say, I don't know if he is the best ever." Frenkie de Jong has already derailed Erik ten Hag's transfer plan for Man United. Manchester United could revive their interest in signing Frenkie de Jong from Barcelona, having targeted the Netherlands international in the last summer transfer window. Frenkie de Jong was Erik ten Hag's #1 transfer target when the Dutch manager was appointed by Manchester United last year. Having blossomed in a partnership at Ajax, Ten Hag wanted de Jong to become the beating heart of his midfield at Old Trafford. United's pursuit of de Jong from Barcelona was undoubtedly one of the longest-running transfer sagas of 2022, and it seemed inevitable that a reunion was on the cards. Ten Hag played a huge role in the midfielder's breakthrough and success at Ajax, where he was instrumental in helping the Eredivisie side reach their first Champions League semi-final in 22 years. But the proposed transfer collapsed, with de Jong seemingly unconvinced about the merits of a move to United, who had just blundered their way through the club's worst-ever campaign in the Premier League era. But that episode clearly did nothing to change Ten Hag's opinion of de Jong, who he claimed would improve any side in world football as recently as February. In 2019, there was a lot of fascination with that Ajax team. Frenkie brought a lot of that fascination, and he has developed over the following years in Spain, Ten Hag told reporters ahead of United's Europa League playoff against Barcelona. "He's a fantastic player and has become even better. Playing out from the back, he always has time. It was a pleasure working with him. He would strengthen any squad in the world. He's got unique quality." United are believed to retain an interest in de Jong going into the summer transfer window, with ESPN recently reporting that the club could make another attempt to sign the Netherlands international. Mauricio Pochettino makes feelings on Graham Potter's coaching staff clear after Chelsea talks. Mauricio Pochettino is expected to bring several of his former coaches with him if he takes over at Chelsea, which means that a handful of Graham Potter's staff are at risk. Chelsea are expected to dispense with the services of Graham Potter's remaining backroom staff if Mauricio Pochettino agrees to become their new head coach. Just 6 months after arriving from Brighton for a significant sum, Potter was relieved of his duties earlier this month, with the Blues languishing in the bottom half of the Premier League following a rotten run of form. Despite Potter's brutal dismissal, several of the staff members who followed him from the South Coast to Stamford Bridge, including Bruno Salter, are still at the club working with caretaker manager Frank Lampard. However, that is likely to change if Pochettino is confirmed as the Englishman's permanent successor in the coming days. Despite talks with other high-profile candidates, including Julian Nagelsmann, it's looking increasingly likely that Pochettino will succeed Potter as the club's next permanent head coach. According to the Telegraph, Chelsea are on the verge of striking a deal with Pochettino, who has held positive talks with the Blues hierarchy. And the Argentinian coach's desire to bring a host of his trusted coaching staff with him to Stamford Bridge means the likes of Salter, Bjorn Hamberg and goalkeeper coach Ben Roberts are all at risk. Only Roberts was on the Chelsea bench with Lampard during the first game of his second spell in the dugout against Wolves earlier this month, with Salter and Hamberg absent. Chelsea gave highly rated first-team Anthony Barry, who was at the club prior to Potter's arrival, the green light to link up with former boss Thomas Tuchel at Bayern Munich last week. Pochettino is likely to bring assistant and head of conditioning Jesus Perez, Steve Hitchen, Miguel D'Agostino, and goalkeeping coach Tony Jimenez with him to Chelsea after discussions between the former Tottenham boss and the Blues accelerated this week. Barcelona want €25 million to part ways with Ferran Torres. Barcelona will reportedly demand €25 million to part ways with 23-year-old Spanish international Ferran Torres this summer. According to a report by Javi Miguel, Barcelona will be happy to recoup €25 million to part ways with Ferran Torres. The Catalan giants ideally want around €40 million to offload the Spanish international. But Torres's form means suitors will unlikely pay over €25 million to secure his services. Ferran Torres surprised many when he seemingly ended his Manchester City spell prematurely. The 23-year-old was at the Premier League club for only 18 months. But after failing to become an undisputed first-choice attacker, he took matters into his hands and moved to Barcelona last January. However, the Spanish international has barely made any progress at Spotify Camp Nou, making sporadic starts for Barcelona. Torres has started only 15 of the 45 games played by Barcelona this season. But he has a decent tally of 7 goals and 2 assists in 39 outings thus far this term. Widespread reports have suggested that Barcelona will likely part ways with Torres in the summer transfer window. And despite his inconsistent performances, the Spaniard is a target for several prominent clubs. That said, he is reportedly uninterested in leaving Barcelona to embark on a new adventure. Arsenal already planning summer move for Pedro Neto. Arsenal are back in for Pedro Neto as they attempt to finally bring the Wolverhampton Wanderers winger to North London this summer. That is according to a report from Football Transfers, who claim that Arsenal are ready to move for Neto this summer. It stated that Mikel Arteta wanted to sign Neto last summer as he attempted to add another winger. Wolves demanded a huge fee though, and Arsenal shelved their interest. Arsenal may have better luck this time though, and it suggested that Wolves boss Julen Lopetegui would be happy to strike a deal. Lopetegui needs money to spend this summer, and selling Neto would bring some cash into the Molineux coffers. Neto is still under contract with Wolves until 2027, but Arsenal will have real hope of finally landing the Portuguese talent. The Express claimed in January that Arsenal still had a firm interest in signing Neto after missing out on Mykhailo Mudryk. The Times suggested last summer that Arsenal were quoted around £60 million for Neto, but Wolves surely wouldn't get close to that now. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like and share. See you again with more news. Bye for now.